and welcome to my weekly online class to go. So for those who aren't familiar with the class, this is my weekly live. I make 3 cards, and if you place an order in my online store of $75 or more, and that's before shipping and after any Stampin' Rewards redemption, I will send you the card kits to make 2 each of the 3 cards from this week. So you have until the end of Saturday night to get your orders in, and I'll send all the cardstock, designer series paper, any ribbons that are needed. I include cardstock for any elements that are die cut from the featured bundle for this week, but I don't die cut those pieces themselves. Any die cuts that are not part of the featured bundle, I do include those die cuts in your kits. And so this week the featured bundle is the Pet Love bundle from the mini catalogue. I think can't remember actually if it's the mini or the online exclusives, but it's one of the current bundles. So this is the featured bundle. And speaking of pets, my dog she came into the room, but now she decided she wants to leave. I may have to get up in a sec to let her out. But this is the stamp set that comes with this bundle, and then the dies. So you've got dies to cut the collar, the bandana, the heart, and then you've got lots of little extra elements to go with it as well. So I will move these out of the way, and so these are the 3 projects for this week, and we will start with this one. I'll just pull my kit out once I find the right one. Let's move these off to the side. So this one uses a basic black card base, and then has some Cajun Crease cardstock, some designer series paper from, I think this is the Weekend Adventures, Very Vanilla die cut, Very Vanilla insert for the inside. We'll do that later. I've already stamped and die cut the bandana. So this is Cajun Craze, and I've just stamped it in Memento Black, and then a few of the little bones, and we will add some ink to those as well, and we'll do that and the stamping first. So to start with, take the Very Vanilla piece, Memento Black, and try not to pick up all the stuff on, oops, might help if I have it the right way round. And we're just going to stamp this one down towards the bottom, and then once I find it, because I had it out and oh, there it is, in front of me rather than to the side, the 4 paw prints, and we'll just do those about there. So that's it for that, and then we will add the ink to the little bones. So I'm using a mix of Petal Pink and Crumb Cake, and we're not adding a lot, it's just a little bit to add a bit of colour to the bones. Probably need to go and get a bone for my dog, seeing as she has decided that she doesn't really want to settle down right now, so I may have to get up and let her out in a minute, and then as soon as I do, she'll want to come back in. But that's all right. she just can't decide if she wants to be in here with me or in the living room with my partner. Now, before I forget, this week I have an extra bonus offer with the card kit. So if your order is over $100, and again that's before shipping and after any Stampin' Rewards redemption, I will also send you a mystery box. So mystery boxes are basically full of mostly retired, but there will be some new Stampin' Up product. So designer series paper, embellishments, ribbon, stamp sets. The stamp sets are either completely new or gently used. Could be cardstock kits. Basically anything that is a Stampin' Up product could end up in the box. The higher your order, the more I include in the box, and they will that will be shipped out at the same time as your kit, so you'll get everything together, so you can treat yourself to an extra Christmas present, or just because why not. Alrighty, that is that done. Hi Renee, nice to see you. How are you? Alrighty, let's start layering this together, and I need to make sure I don't forget the ribbon. If you can call this ribbon, it's not really ribbon, definitely doesn't move as nicely as ribbon, but that's kind of the texture of it. And I should probably get my new glue out. There is still plenty in here, it's just a bit harder to get out. Alright, so just need to get this one down. Straighten that up a bit, and then now, because this is, so as you can see, it's it's a trim rather than a ribbon, and it's not solid, so we don't want to use something like tear and tape, because then you'll have little bits of adhesive everywhere. So what we'll do, and thankfully it doesn't slide around as much as ribbon does, just because of the texture of it, but we'll grab a glue dot and whack that down in the middle, because the bow is going to sit over the top of that, and I'll just make sure that I've got, yep, just want to make sure I've got enough space for the top part. I'm good, Renee. I've finished one job for the year, not the other one, but I do at least have more time to craft and work on projects for the new year, so I am very much enjoying that. Not so much looking forward to when the time comes to go back. Alrighty. Hi Dimity, nice to see you. Alrighty, let's get these backings off. Trying to use my break to get as much stuff planned and made and ready as I can. So I've got particularly the sort of start of the new year, there's a few things I've got coming up to try and get organised for, like mini catalogue launch and paper share, ribbon share, birthday card series, and all the usual stuff. So trying to get as ahead as I can. Always easier said than done though, but getting there. Getting there. So this one is going down just above the ribbon in the center there. And then we will use dimensionals. I'll move this out of the way. Dimensionals for the rest of it, and I will grab, I had some new ones, so you don't have to sit and watch me cut up lots of little pieces of dimensionals. Because you gotta use all the side pieces, and they are very handy when you need narrow strips, and I may need to use some on the bones for the center just so they stick a little better. For the ends though, we can use the regular minis, as in the regular mini pieces. Oops, and then I will grab, where are my scissors gone? Right in front of me. Just grab a few thin pieces for the middle. I find that if you don't have enough dimensionals, if you press down on the wrong spot, you get it just sort of sinks in and it bugs me. So I end up going with probably far too many, but hey, it works for me. Just means that, yeah, my dog sheds fur and I end up shedding dimensional backings. And then she rolls in them. And then also sheds them herself because she's rolled in them and they stick. Alrighty. That one is going to overhang slightly. This one is going there. Although I just realized I probably shouldn't have put a dimensional backing on the top there, because that makes it sit a bit too high. So can I get this one off? Yes, I can. And I will just add a tiny bit of glue instead. Forgot about that until I stuck it down and then realized that that bit was sitting a little bit too high. But there we go, all good. That one is as well, but I think that one will be okay. It's not, that one's not so bad. All right, now the fun part of trying to tie a bow with this stuff. Although I suppose at least the advantage is that it doesn't slide around as much, which is good and bad. It sort of does tend to stay in place a little better once you've pulled it tight. So I reckon that is probably good enough. Trim the ends. And then we'll just grab a glue dot. Add that to the back. Work that one down. We should put the insert in. Oop, plastic falling all over the place. Oh, my dog is right by my side. She has moved. Alrighty. Then all that is left is some embellishment. So I'm using the earthy matte dots, and I'm going to use one of the early espresso ones and a few of the Cajun Craze, and I'm hoping my video is still working as it should be. It's the view I'm getting is that it's kind of frozen. I'm hoping that is not the case at your end. So Dimity, Renee, anyone, if you could just let me know if it is working as it should at your end, that would be fantastic. Alrighty, that is the first one done, and we will move on to the second one, which is this one. So this one is relatively, well, it is a simple card. There's not a lot included in this one, just some stamping and minimal embellishments. The only thing to be mindful of, thank you Renee, good to know, Renee, Dimity, thank you, good to know. Only thing to be mindful with this, and because when I did this sample one, it all worked fine, and then I was making another sample last night and it took me about 4 or 5 goes to get it right, just in terms of, because the pour stamp is 4, and depending on the angle that you have them on, you want to make sure you've got enough space to get a couple of the little hearts down the side. The inside part, not a problem. Thank you Renee, very helpful, appreciate that. Always a bit disconcerting when it freezes and you're not sure if it's actually moving or not, and people can actually see what they're supposed to, but good to know, thank you. Yeah, so just when you are stamping, just be mindful to make sure you've got enough space to get a couple of the hearts in. You could, if you wanted to, do the hearts first, but you've got to be fairly confident in your placement of those to make sure they're in the right spot. So this one, basic white card base, and then Poppy Parade and basic white. So let's see how we go, and let's see if I can get this right the first time. So just using Memento Black, and we are going down, starting down the bottom, And I reckon that should, I think that should be good to get them in. And I think if you try and keep the angle the same throughout, you should be okay. Now I'm going on one there and probably one there, so I'm going to go up a little bit higher. And then the last couple, and clean that up before I end up with it all over everything. And then I'll do the sentiment next because that is also in black. And I'm going a little bit higher than what I did on my sample card. I think it looks a little better when it's a little bit higher up than what I originally had it. And then we just need, where is it? There it is, hiding, Poppy Parade. And oh, I got a bit of black on there. That's a bit annoying, but oh, do I have? Oh, that's gonna be. That's not quite. I thought I had that right, but that is not quite going to work. That was supposed to go about there or possibly there, but that's. Oh, that's pushing it. It's alright, starting over. This is what happened last night, and I'm fine with that anyway because I ended up getting some black on the cardstock, which I really didn't want. So let's just make sure. I'm going to start that bit going a little closer. And excuse my head if it ends up in the camera. I'm going to tilt that out slightly. So I'm going to have one going there, and actually let's try this. I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm going to give it a shot. So if we put that one there, and then actually no, so that wasn't quite what I, but if I, this is why it took me so long last night, because it just didn't quite work as I had planned, but I think this is going to be better now. That's looking better. Clean that one up, and then we just need some down this side, and we need, now where was I going? Up the top, I think. All right, that looks better. And bring the sentiment back in. Just want to make sure I've got room for an embellishment next to the sentiment, so that should be fine. Let's move those off to the side, and also means I don't have that little black line which would have bugged me. So all good in the end. But yes, it took me quite a few goes last night to get it right. When I did my original, it worked straight away, first time, all good, and go to do it again, no. Wasn't gonna happen. But we got there eventually. And thankfully tonight it only took 2 goes. So you didn't have to sit and watch me again and again. Alrighty, let's just clean that up. It's just a little bit extra adhesive, and then pick this one up. And then all we need to do is add some of the basic rhinestones, and for this one we are keeping it pretty minimal, just adding the one. So I think for this one that's all that is needed. Sometimes simple is the best option. So that is card number 2. And let me bring card number 3 back in when I find it. It's hiding, there we go. So this is the final one. So this is another sympathy card, pet sympathy like the last one. This one's just stepped up a little bit more. So this one we are using a grey granite card base and some early espresso cardstock. The paper is from the, I think it's the autumn toil pack, and then also a little bit from the weekend adventures, so just a little strip. Some Very Vanilla for the sentiment, that is a spare. I have pre-stamped the collar in Cajun Craze on grey granite, and the little heart in Poppy Parade on Very Vanilla, and then a silver foil clasp, I guess, for the collar, Very Vanilla for the inside, and a Very Vanilla textured notes die cut. So let's do the stamping. We will start with all the Memento Black. Bring the paws back in. That's right. Just remembered before I start. So I want the paws to start basically right in line, but I only want 3, just so that it all fits. So what I'm going to do is I've just got some removable adhesive tape. You can also use masking paper, and I'm just going to, that side's a bit straighter, pop that down just on the section, get that a bit straighter, just on the bottom section, just where the little texture part is, just to avoid getting ink on there. So, and I'm just going to hold that down with my block. So the first paw print we want straight, so so facing straight up, and then on the other side, same thing again. There we go. Actually, I still need that, so take that off, and then that means we don't have ink where we didn't want it, so that's all good. Let's do the sentiment. So I'm into black again. And then we will bring in the parade again. And just one on each side. There we go. Get that away before I end up with ink everywhere that I don't want it. So we will adhere this one down, just make sure everything's the right length before we start to stick. Okay. That's looking good, and then we'll do the paper. Just double check that I've cut the correct measurements and just work out which side is better. Sometimes when your blade, the blade on your trimmer is getting a bit old, it doesn't always cut as, well, it still cuts smoothly, but sometimes you just get a little bump on one side. So when that happens, I just use that as the face down side. Alrighty. Get that down, slide that across a little. There we go. All good. Now let's just move these out of the way. Let's get this one stuck down. There's no ribbon on this one, so I don't have to worry about sticking it down and then remembering that I needed to add ribbon. There is none on this one. So that can go down. And this one is going to go, that'll sit just up from the bottom. There we go. And then this one. So we should be done a little quicker than last week tonight. Last week's class took, it was a little longer than I expected, but it was still fun. Sometimes I forget how how long certain aspects take, and then that I'm also just a very slow crafter. Alright, so for this one, this one does have a couple of little score lines. It is a little tricky with the silver foil, but it does fold. I'm just not great at it and a bit uncoordinated, but it does fold. You can always use, particularly if you've got like a metal ruler that you can sort of put, like basically fold, won't work with this one because this is just a plastic one, but if you put, like you've got the metal edged ones and you put that up against the score line and fold over, that can help with ones that are a little more tricky to fold. But it doesn't matter too much for this one, and you can adjust as you go. So this one is going to sit over there, so we will add, actually what I might do, because I found last night when I was making extra one that didn't stick as easily, so I think the glue dots are a better option for sticking this down. And of course Peggy wants to go out, of course. You just don't have, if you use the glue dots, you've got less wiggle room to adjust, but if you've got it where you want it, then it should be fine. And then I think I might actually do the same with the tag. I think glue dots are going to work a bit better. Originally I was using the multi-purpose glue. Actually that needs to go that side, but I think this is a better option. Just gonna slide it up a little if I can, just so it's not all the way down, but let's see, possibly a bit of both for this one. But also once you've got this together, and I'm making a bit of a mess of it here, but once you've got that stuck together, then you can add your dimensionals, and I recommend adding one that covers the two, so it sort of helps them to stick together. And I might actually do a second one there just in case, just to keep it secure. And then we'll add a few more along here. I think we can cut that one. And then just a little bit more for the heart. Get that secure. And that should all be fairly well stuck together. Oops, one of them decided to come off. Alrighty. So you just need to adjust depending on exactly where you want it to sit, and you know, depending on the stamp, exactly where they have ended up. But all that is left now, apart from the insert, let's do that. And get rid of all those dimensional backings. Flip that over. And then I'm using the rhinestones again for this one, but we will add a couple more than the last one for this one. And let's go. That should be enough, I think. Don't want too many for this one. And there we go. So that is the final one. Let me bring everything back in. Alrighty, so these are the cards for this week. For this week's class, remember you have until the end of Saturday night to get your orders in, and don't forget there is also the mystery boxes as well. So $75 order minimum for the class kit, and then $100 minimum for the class kit and the mystery box. And the higher the order, the more that's included in the mystery box. Alrighty, so that is it for this week. I will be here next week as well. Next week is Cake Day. So that is next week's featured bundle. That's one of the newish Stamp and Die bundles. So that is it from me for tonight, and I think I need to take my dog for a walk because she hasn't been yet. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas and break over the new year. I hope you're always getting a break. Thank you, Renee. Thank you, Dimity. Thank you for joining me. If you are watching on YouTube, please remember to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It really helps me out. And in January I will be doing a birthday bonanza series of birthday cards, so if you're not on my email list, head to handmadeafterdark.com.au, and then you'll get there will be videos and PDF tutorials for a series of birthday cards, because we all need birthday cards, so let's get as many done as we can in January. And yeah, I will catch you next time. Thanks again. Have a great night. Happy crafting. Bye.